So thank you very much for the kind introduction, and hi everyone. I'm very happy that you are here for the showcase session of our SAIS Investment Readiness program. So at SAIS, we believe that innovation can play an important role for food system transformation and also agriculture. And combined with the right investment and the right business partner, the startup could scale their innovation and reach a large number of users. Because at the end, we want the user improve their income and also be climate resilient. So the program is fully funded by the German government. So we are funded by BMZ. And we started our operation in 2019, and the program is running until 2029. So what are we offering at SAIS? So the main core is to help the startup to raise money. So we are working on investment readiness. So maybe next slide. Okay, so we are working on investment readiness with the goal to empower the startup to optimize their business model, get access to investor, and raise money to scale the innovation, as I said previously. And for that, we have three main investment readiness programs: one for Francophone Africa, the second one for English-speaking Africa, and we have another one funded by the Gate Foundation, which is focusing on animal health and livestock startups. So far, we have been working in different countries. So for the last cohort, we selected 13 startups. So they will be pitching today and tomorrow. So for this first day, you are going to see 6 first startups that will be presenting their model. Yes, and in terms of numbers, so since our beginning in 2019, we have been able to work with 87 startups, and most of them graduated the program and also were able to raise funding. So we are talking about 56 million raised so far, with about 1 million user reach for the program. So we are covering all Africa. So if you are an entrepreneur, a startup that you want to know more about the SAIS program, our sourcing team is also here. So we'll be very happy, yes, to engage in conversation with you and see how you could, yes, be taken in the program. So, and for today, we have 6 startups that will be pitching. I will not last long here, so maybe I will give the stage back for the startup to start pitching, and let's enjoy the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jacques. Thank you for that overview. One number that stuck with me was 98% of the startups that SAIS has backed are still operational, and I think that's a very impressive number. So 87 startups, 21 countries, indeed. So I would like to invite on to the stage some of our experts that will be judging or reviewing these companies. Mercy Erhiawarien, please come to the stage. Big round of applause for Miss Mercy. And also Miss Lyndsay Handler. And so, I think I will then also introduce our first startup. Do we have Mr. Eli Ajay, the founder of G Avicol, with us? Excellent. A round of applause.
This is not me, it's my uncle chickens. Poultry farming is very crucial for feeding our growing population, and modernizing this sector is important for the future of African security. For African security. Poultry farming is very crucial for feeding our growing population. Therefore, I think there is not my slide. Okay. Therefore, we have some crucial problem according. Okay. Yeah, this is not my screen. Okay. No. Please, this is not my pitch deck, the good pitch deck I sent. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay, like I'm saying, poultry farming is very crucial for feeding our growing population. But this sector struggles with some problem. Like poultry farmers in Africa have a lack of data information, and also have problem to organize their activity. That's why we built J-Avicol. J-Avicol is a secular solution providing a software solution to manage poultry farming, and also a marketplace to help them sell goods and buy equipment at an affordable price. We have also a billing per hours consulting service to help them mastering their activities. With our solution, poultry farmers can reduce to 20 to 30% their loss and significantly improve their production. They can find also outlets to their goods, even though in a overproduction period. With J-Avicol, our market size is, our business model is based on subscription model for our poultry management system, and commission model to our marketplace. We bill our consulting service per hour. The market of poultry farming in Africa is very rich, representing $29 billion for Africa, and we are targeting a sub-Saharan market who is evaluated to $3.5 billion. We will capture 3% of this market, who represent $90 million. We have some competitors in our market providing same service with some limitation, which our solution overcomes significantly. And now we have more than 250 farms using our solution. We are based in Togo, operate in Togo, but our customers locate in several countries in Africa. So our roadmap this year, we plan to raise our first round to 175K. And at the end of the year, we plan to reach 1,000 users of our solution. And at the end of 2026, implement IoT and AI service to our solution. Our ask is for 175K to improve our product development, increase our marketing and strategy, and also hire some talent to help us achieve our goal. Our team, the team which I lead is formed by a technician with more than 10 years of experience in digitalizing service and more than 15 years in poultry farming. I'm a son of poultry farmer, and I knew to feed poultry before knew writing my name. Thank you.
Okay, hello. Thank you
Hello.
so much for your pitch. Just can you reiterate for me why you started this business? Again, just if you can restate your problem.
Okay. Uh, we chose this business because, firstly, my parents are poultry farmers. So at my youngest age, we know you need to track data for your hens, what are your rate of egg production if you are going at the right direction. But usually in Africa, poultry farmers use block notes to track this data. This is not possible. And we built this solution first for my parents' farm. And then we discovered that the problem is a general problem. And after we find that the problem is not only manage the activity, but also if you have improved your production, you need to sell. If you don't sell, you can lose your production, and so you top up our solution with a marketplace. Yeah.
Great. So love how you're building a software solution for farmers. I love that you're in 10 markets. I think it's really impressive, so congrats. I guess a question that I have is, do you offer the inputs on credit, or are you taking this commission on a cash basis? And what is the average, customer lifetime value you expect for each of your customers?
Okay. Our model is based on subscription for our software management software and annual subscription. And the lifetime of the customer we get is like 2 years. If you don't lose your production, you don't have reason to not going up with us. So.
Thank you.
So I don't know if your competitor slide was very clear. Can you explain to us how you're better than your competitors in the market?
Please.
Please, can you explain how you're better than your existing competitors in the market?
Please, can you repeat the question?
Okay. How are you? Where is your value above the competitors in the market?
Okay. Our values about the competitor in the market is that me as the CEO of the company and have a background on software development, I master the business of poultry farming and also technical to build something to respond to them. That is the one thing we use to beat our competitor. And also, we have some competitors who offer only a software to manage a poultry farm. But we are offering a circular service that you get a software to manage your activities, to improve your production, and then you can sell in our marketplace. And if you don't have some information, we offer you a consulting and expertise to optimize your decision, not making mistake. That's why.
I have one last question, if I may. This is a question that we usually ask the people who apply to our programs, but God forbid, and as they say in Nigeria, but God forbid, if anything should happen and your business would fail, what would be the reason?
The reason will be we abandon the mission.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eli. A bigger round for him, especially as we had a little mishap with the presentation. Yes? Oh, yes, thank you. Excellent. And Eli, I would love to know also at some point what masters or education you had. Poultry and IT, man, that sounds really interesting. So thank you again for that one. And I always make it a point to look at my judges and to gauge their faces. I think they like that. I think they liked that presentation. I sure did. So the next presentation is going to be by Stable Foods, and it's affordable irrigation for all. And the speaker is Mr. Andrew Massaro, the CEO of Stable Foods. Andrew, big rounds of applause to you.
Thank you very much. Cool. This, which goes forward? Good morning. Thank you very much for everyone for being here. Thank you, judges. My name is Andrew, and Stable Foods provides affordable irrigation for all. So, some things I think most of us already know, which is that the world needs to produce more, and the world needs to produce more food with less. Africa, the continent, has food, it has people, it has land, and it has water, but somehow we haven't intelligently combined them all together, and so we still have a yield gap that puts us 76 below productivity and yield for the rest of the world. Okay. Sorry, the buttons are a lot less straightforward than you would think. But we know what the solution is. The solution is that irrigation can solve the problem of the productivity gap. And when we know that, because we've already achieved it ourselves. This number on the left side of the page, 10x annual yields, we have already achieved that with certain farmers in their literal first year. The issue is that irrigation isn't affordable and accessible to all. If you are not one of the lucky few who has water immediately adjacent to your plot, you effectively have no solution. Water cannot be brought or brung somewhere else until, of course, Stable Foods. There we go. We're figuring out the buttons. So we have Stable Foods irrigation as a service. It makes irrigation affordable and accessible. Number one, it's ultra affordable, rates as low as $45 per acre per month, and crucially, no upfront payments, no CapEx. The farmer doesn't have to burden any of that. Number two, it is climate smart. We only use solar pumping systems because of course, if we're going to make a benefit, we need to make a benefit for long term. And then thirdly, it is accessible. It includes water point development, so even those without water on their plots can benefit. So how does it work? Very simply. We build a solar water system. It can be small, it can be large. Larger is better, it increases economies of scale, but either way, we build the water system. That can be a borehole, that can be a surface pump, and with the solar system to go. Then we install our drip lines onto multiple farmers' land. Effectively, we create a network. I'll show you more in the next slide. That's our responsibility. The farmer's job is to pay a small monthly fee for access to that irrigation. So now they have 12 months of a year of irrigation. And then fourthly, they farm high-value crops. The idea here is that we're transitioning people from subsistence farming, a little maize, a little beans, and a lot of praying, to high-value, high-yield commercial crop farming, which can only be done when you have access to 12 months of the year of irrigation. So again, a little bit more detail on how it works. So on the right side of the page, you see quite literally a Google Earth image. So this is one of the first ones we built, not perfect, but actually worked pretty well. We have one water pump. We pump water up from Lake Victoria. It goes about 500 meters into the hills. So those are plots that never would have been able to otherwise irrigate themselves. And then the rest, gravity does the rest from the uphill reservoir. So for about $16,000, we were able to connect around 12 plots. And since it's a solar system, and because gravity does the rest, very little operating cost as it goes forward. So high margins for us and easy water for the farmers. In addition to our irrigation, that's what we have on the left side of the page, that's our primary innovation, but also we know that our farmers need to monetize their investment. Just giving them irrigation isn't enough, so we also do guaranteed market access on the other side. So that means we buy farmer produce for sale in our proprietary network. That increases our revenue and our margins, and that makes the farmers feel better because they have a guaranteed market. So what is the impact of all of this? So there's three major benefits here. One is that the average number of seasons that a farmer farms almost triples. Where we work, farmers were only farming 1.1 seasons per year. So almost 8 months of the year the land was fallow. Two, they can increase their prices with counter-cyclical selling. That means prices selling when the prices are highest because they planted in the off-season when there's less competitive supply. And then lastly, they're transitioning from low-value to high-value crops. All of that sums up to around a 400% increase in annual farmer profits. In fact, actually the number was 480, but I was told that that number would seem unrealistic, so we put it lower so that people would believe us. This is an example. I'm not saying this is all of our farmers, but this is one example of a young man without a high school degree, 28. In his first season with Stable Foods, he increases production by 16x, and his profit by 10x. This is the kind of transformation that Stable Foods can bring. We've got an extensive market. I'll wrap up quickly. Total addressable market, 5 million in Kenya. There's 7.5 billion cubic meters of additional water available for irrigation in Kenya. So that can irrigate another 2 million acres. So there's no shortage of opportunities. And we have a fantastic team. I've been here for 2.5 years. Irrigation manager has been there with me. Joan's been there with me since the first couple months. And we just added a fantastic chief of staff. Thank you very much. Questions?
Okay, I'll start if that's okay. So I just have 2 questions. One, are you operating in Kenya and where else?
Just Kenya at the moment.
Okay, and then the second question is, what do you do if the farmer is not able to pay up front? Like, how do you manage that?
Sure, and Mercy, I'll say just Kenya in the moment, but we've had a lot of requests to go internationally. Whenever we have the investment that brings us there, we'll be happy to. This solution works anywhere where there's land, water, and people, which is almost anywhere. And then so for the farmers, yes, there is an upfront fee, but one, we offer also in credit. I didn't get into it in the conversation because limited time, but we offer a 60% credit package. So if they need to pay 5,000 shillings, then they actually only need to pay 2,000 shillings up front. And then the remaining balance goes on a balance sheet for the season, and then they sell us their produce at the end of the season, they burn down the balance, and then the rest they get paid in cash. So we make that easy for them, and then also we can start with basically any size. You want to start with a 1/4 acre, that's only a few thousand shillings, not even a few thousand shillings, excuse me. And then you can build up to a 1/2 acre, 1 acre, and beyond. Obviously, confidence is an important part of being a farmer.
Great. Amazing model,
Thanks.
Andrew. The first question that comes to my mind is why isn't everyone doing this if
Sure.
it's so good?
Yeah.
I think just to give you a couple of the other quick things I'd love you to touch on is, are you raising money? And if so, like, how do you scale this model? How much equity versus debt do you need to raise to achieve profitability and scale? And then finally, for investors, what is the exit model for your business?
Sure, I'll take the second one. Yes, we are raising money. We're in the middle of a round, which is nice. We actually have 840,000 already IC approved. But to unlock that 840,000, we're looking for one more strategic equity investor. One more investor would unlock, well, the 840,000 and whatever they put in. So that would be incredibly powerful.
What's that minimum size so everyone in the audience
400 will unlock
400,
840.
okay.
Yes, but we can work with smaller. 200 will unlock 420. So there's a lot we can do with that. And although obviously I want to have 2 million in the bank so I don't have to worry about fundraising for 2 years, I can do a lot with 600 right now. So that's what we're raising for. And then number 2, in terms of scalability, what we've learned recently, we're actually just a few days away from launching our biggest site. Our previous biggest site was 15 acres. We're about to have one that's 50, and we think we can expand that to 100. So we're seeing the scalability pretty easy, actually. There are, like I said, economies of scale, bigger pumps, bigger pipes, bigger reservoirs. For a decreasing number of dollars per acre, you can get an increasing number of acres irrigated. And so we're looking for the variety of different large water bodies around Kenya, lakes, rivers, reservoirs. There are thousands of square kilometers, and each kilometer has 250 acres. So we think we've got easily between 500,000 and 1 million acres of available land.
Okay, but just really quickly, do you need debt for this business, or you're only raising equity?
So as per the specifics of the 840,000 that have already been IC approved, they are only looking for a debt investor. We already have one fantastic debt investor, So we're only looking for equity at the moment, yeah.
Well, I'm getting signals that
Okay,
we're wrapping
we gotta
up.
go.
So thank you so much, Andrew, and
Thank you.
thanks for sharing your
Thank you very
about
much.
Stable Foods.
Thank you again, Andrew. Thank you again to our lovely judges, and thank you for those wonderful questions. You asked everything I was interested in hearing, so I hope we got a good account of Mr. Masaro's company. We have our next company and our next presenter coming up. The title is Space AI, Pioneering the Next Era of Dairy Excellence. I, for one, would love to know what cows have to do with space, and hopefully Mr. Rama Madiba will be able to give us some answers to that question. Welcome, big round of applause.
Thank you very much. I think cows, including ourselves, exist within the space. So I think they have everything to do with the space. My name is Rama Madiba. I am the CEO of Space AI. And we are pioneering the next era of dairy excellence. So why is Space AI a good place to pick from where my sister said is that the opportunities in dairy, just like the space, are unlimited. So it starts from where you are, and it goes to as far as your eyes can see. Not all our eyes can see to the same distance, so not all farmers can be able to get, to harness the opportunities that come with it. AI, why AI? So for those of us here in Nairobi or in the cities, you will understand it as artificial intelligence, and you're correct. Because we collect tons and tons of data every day on farmer production, and we're using artificial intelligence to improve farmer production. But to the farmer, they understand us as space artificial insemination. And they are correct, because we are building a platform where we are also digitizing artificial insemination. Yeah, so what do we do? What about dairy? So dairy is the single largest value chain that contributes almost like around 3.5% of Kenya's GDP. That's around $4 billion US. And it provides the biggest opportunity for transformation. But if you look at the farmer has daily struggles. What are these struggles of a farmer? A farmer wants to be paid in time. A farmer wants to be paid what is due for them. So what has Space AI done? Space AI is digitizing the dairy value chain at the farm gate. When Mrs. Paul, for example, Paul is a farmer. Interestingly, in most of the communities we work, the cows belong to the men, but the milk belongs to the women. So Mrs. Paul would then milk the cow, put her milk at the farm gate, someone comes and picks the milk. At that point, Space AI steps in, digitizes that milk. It supports cooperatives to then, to prepare the payroll and ensure that the milk that Mrs. Paul put on the farm gate is not stolen from her. So then we go to the next step to ensure that the cooperative is able to pay Mrs. Paul in time. Remember, unlike most of us here, Mrs. Paul relies on this milk to put food on her table daily. So the processors pick milk from the cooperatives, but they pay after 30 days. Space AI steps in because we have de-risked the model by having the accurate data. We support the farmers to get paid ahead of the processor. And number two, we bring transparency, efficiency across the value chain. What is Space AI doing by this is that we are building infrastructure for many people to come and plug in so that together we can transform the dairy value chain. At the moment, we are serving more than 30 cooperatives within the North Rift area. We have 42,000 farmers, and daily we collect more than 20,000 liters of milk across the value chain. So yeah, today, being Wednesday, is payday for farmers. So we pay farmers every Wednesday. So if there is one important day that farmers look forward to in our ecosystem, is Wednesday. So Space AI is putting smiles on many farmers. And today, many farmers will be smiling. And I want to invite many of you, or all of you, to join us in supporting to transform the dairy sector. We are revenue generating. We are transforming the sector. And above all, we are creating opportunities for many people to join the work that we are doing. And yeah, so as I said, currently we have more than 42,000 farmers, but we have 1.8 million dairy farmers in Kenya. So you can see where we are against where we are going. So why am I here today? I'm here today to invite investors, partners, guys, people in innovative finance, impact finance, to have a conversation with us so that together we may transform the lives of the smallholder dairy farmers in rural Kenya. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Rama. Really nice to hear about space AI. So I think one of the things we're passionate about Delta 40 is helping entrepreneurs really ask what they need. So because it's a lot of us can only invest in you and come find you if we're the right fit for you. So the first question I have is, can you clarify, what are you raising? Are you raising equity, debt? How much? What other support do you really need? So the audience and the experts here can help contextualize your ask.
Yeah, thank you very much. At the moment, we are raising debts because we have receivables that we finance farmers every Wednesday and every first of the month. So at the moment, we are we're looking to raise $1.5 million. Yeah.
Great. In USD or local currency, do you want this
USD.
debt? Okay.
Yes.
Great. And I guess the question I would have, is we need these models. Don't get me wrong. We need all of these models that take on a value chain and understand the customer. But what makes Space AI different than the other solutions that we've seen that are trying to help pay farmers, at the farm gate or when they deliver this milk? What makes you different, and what's going to make you able to be profitable and deliver an exit for your investors?
Yeah. So as it's Space AI, what makes us different is that we have taken a very human-centered approach and putting the farmer really at the very center of the work we do, and also putting building an ecosystem around the farmer. And what we have done is that by getting the right data, we've been able to build other products. And let me just give you one example of the products we are supporting the cooperatives to support the farmer, which is a product called Maziwa ni school fees. Loosely translated, it means milk is school fees. So through that, when schools open in Kenya, mostly, you would find that people sell their animals so that they can pay school fees. They don't need to do that anymore. So they, with the data that we have, they leverage that and they pay small amounts, they check off small amounts of milk to put that into school fees payment. So we're looking at the farmer and we're building an ecosystem around them. So the prosperity of the farmer is at the very center of everything. So for any investor, the farmer has to win first, because if the farmer wins, Space AI wins, the cooperative wins, the investor wins. And yes, we are already generating revenue and be able to cover some of our costs.
Okay, so I'll ask one very quick question. You just mentioned revenue. What's your revenue to date, and when did you start?
So we started to generate the first revenue in June of last year, and we have two revenue streams. One is in financing farmers, and number two is in the technology that we provide. So whether we finance or we don't, we still generate revenue. So so I think right now we generate around $7,000 per month.
One last question. Do you have, do you have IP for the technology?
We're working on that. Yeah. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Big round of applause. And we learned all about what cows have to do with space. Love that. Thank you again for all these questions and for the presentation. Next, we have Ikenan Zevi from Relief. And this presentation will be about using biochar from food processing waste to create wealth. A big round of applause for Ikena.
Hi everyone. I'm Kenna, and today I'm going to be telling you how we at Relief are using biochar to create wealth in rural communities. So to have a little bit of a discussion about the problem, all right, there we go. All right, so the problem, I'm from Nigeria, and Nigeria is the world's poverty capital. And the reason that Nigeria has not been able to solve this problem is we have not been able to make our food processing ecosystem productive, and therefore be able to create mass employment. And so if you look at nations like India, a country that has over 1 billion people in it, they have less people living in extreme poverty. Now, there is an opportunity for more productive food processing as carbon dioxide removal must scale to 10 billion tons per annum. So we all know that climate change is an issue that we're facing in Africa. Temperatures on the continent have risen about 150% more than in other parts of the world, and that is impacting rainfall, farm yields, and the livelihoods of farmers. And so to solve this problem, we need to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, 10 billion tons every year by 2050. Now, this carbon removal market stands to provide an additional $1 trillion to GDP around the world if you have these tons being sold for about $100 each. Now, of the carbon removal technologies, biochar stands alone as the cheapest and most scalable solution to remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. If you look at carbon removal deliveries in 2023, biochar represented 94% of them, while other methods like direct air capture, BECCS, et cetera, only made up 6%. So how does that introduce Relief? What's the context? So we at Relief have been running a rural nut cracking factory since 2021. We patented and operate a nutcracker, which is called Kraken. Kraken provides income to 3,000 farmers in our community and employs 100 people. And on a monthly basis, this nutcracker produces 250 tons of nutshells, which are excellent for carbon removal, leveraging this technology that I talked about, which is called biochar. So I want to give you a little bit of a diagram of how the model works. So at Relief, we buy palm nuts from farmers, we put them into our nutcracker, and we get nutshells on the other end. Now, if you heat up these nutshells at very high temperatures, you create a product which is called biochar. Biochar can then be mixed with fertilizer to make it cheaper and then provided back to the farmers that supplied you those nuts. And so you create a circular economy with your farmer where you're improving their yields and you're able to remove carbon as you create this product. Now, if you are selling these carbon removal credits for $150 per ton, you can pay your farmers more. And you have an incentive to pay your farmers more for their crops because it enables you to gain market share in what is generally a commodity market. If you're paying farmers the highest prices, they'll buy the most, they'll sell you their nuts. And so you can use the carbon credit monetization from this model to get farmers above the poverty line and out of extreme poverty. Now, biochar is not going to be easy to scale. It requires finding lots of agricultural waste, putting it in a machine, and then distributing it to farmers. But at Relief, we've already built the capabilities to scale this innovation. We have built 4 rural factories from scratch. We've patented a nutcracker, which enables us to process over 10,000 tons of these nuts. We've managed rural logistics, and we work with local communities around our factory already today. At Relief, we believe that Africa has natural advantages to become the largest and most affordable biochar producer globally. From a raw material perspective, we have plenty of sunshine, plenty of plants, plenty of land. And so we have 1 billion tons of biomass that's produced annually. If you look at the cost of labor on the continent, it's 50 to 80% cheaper than any other region, and labor costs are going to be the largest differentiator in the production cost of biochar after raw material. And then third, Africa has struggled with industrialization in the past due to its government's inability to provide centralized infrastructure. However, biochar provides its own energy to produce the product as the shells are combusted, and so you only need very small solar kits in order to scale this industry. I'm Kenna. I'm a Nigerian American. I went to Yale where I studied computer science and worked at Bain & Company as a management consultant. I'm joined with my co-founder Uzo, who is a mechanical engineer from Duke who worked at GE Aviation. We brought together a great group of investors to scale this solution and have the right partners to make it happen. We'd love to define this new industry with you. We'll begin biochar production in Nigeria in April, making us the first industrial producer in Nigeria. Our mission is to industrialize the continent, lifting 400 million Africans out of poverty, and we have the experience and international connections to bring this innovation to the market. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. Really impressive what you're building. A couple of questions, particularly on the carbon credit market. I'm sure everyone here is kind of wondering what type of certainty do you have around the price per ton and the flows of the carbon financing to your business and these ultimately the farmers. And then I'm just going to ask every company the same question. How do investors exit Relief down the line? What is your ultimate vision for Relief?
So I'll start with the second question. Our vision at Relief is to make food processing companies more profitable. And we need to prove that with our own nut cracking factory and then help other companies do the same thing. And so after we've set up our carbon credit project, monetized it, and made ourselves more profitable, our objective is to help other food processors do the same thing and monetize that opportunity by providing them with MRV software, which is the technology that you use to basically prove that you've made the biochar to someone who gives you carbon credits that you then go on to sell. So that's how this business scales and creates a return for investors. The first question was about carbon credit pricing, certainty, et cetera. So as it stands today, I sell my nutshells for $10 per ton, and I'm very confident that I can sell the physical product of biochar for at minimum $50 per ton. And so the production of this process to improve the yields of my farmers and ensure my supply chain is already incentive enough for me to create this product. And so if I'm able to get carbon credit revenue and monetization, I can then pay my farmers higher prices than my competitors, get more market share, and increase absolute profit to my business overall. And so our business is not actually reliant on carbon credit monetization for sustainability. We are first nutcrackers. We have the most advanced nutcracker in Africa. It's patented. We're the only people that can take smallholder nuts, process them at scale, and create feedstock to be able to create biochar at scale. And so carbon credit monetization is kind of on top and gravy. The second point that I'll raise about carbon credit monetization is that I think that the headwinds that the market is facing are going to create a larger moat for organizations that have the international connections to be able to sell carbon credits. So to give an example, my former boss from Bain is now the Chief Sustainability Officer of the company, and so getting on a call with him to tell him about our carbon credit project was not a difficult activity to engage in. And so while the carbon credit market is facing headwinds, we believe that the Microsofts, the Bains, the McKinseys of the world, the folks that make the most profit and employ the most intelligent people are going to continue to purchase carbon removal credits, and it's our objective to be one of their suppliers.
Okay, yeah, okay. I appreciate your perspective and how you're approaching the carbon credit market today. The one question I wanted to ask was, what's your ask in terms of investments and what have you? Yeah.
We do not have an investment ask right now.
Okay.
We've closed enough capital where we are able to scale this process. After selling biochar and our carbon removal credits, we'll be looking to raise more capital because we have 2,000 tons of nutshells at our facility today. The installed capacity of our pyrolysis machine will take about 8 years to consume it. And so we want to prove to investors that we have feedstock on the supply side, demand and purchasers on the other side, and we need more investment to put more machines on ground.
Thank you. We're going to give a big round of applause for Ikenna. I love your approach. Get up here and showcase your business before you need the money. You didn't even have an ask. Excellent. So we're going to move on to the next company, and we're going to hear from Miss Priscilla Wakerera. Is she in the house? A big round of applause for Miss Priscilla. And she is coming from RIA, Decentralizing Soil Analysis for Smallholder Farmers in Africa. Priscilla, this is for you. Take it away.
Good morning. Is it still morning? Hopefully. My name is Priscilla Wakerera. I'm a soil scientist, and I am the CEO and a co-founder at RIA. We're a soil health management company. We cannot discuss climate mitigation. We cannot discuss reversing effects of climate change without starting from the bottom up, which is in the soil. Okay, terrible at this. You see, smallholder farmers fail to soil test and end up using the wrong types of fertilizer because they lack access to convenient, timely, and affordable soil testing services. Now, this is in a world where soil nutritional data should guide their crop suitability and fertilizer use. Conventional soil testing labs in our continent are very few. They're located mostly in urban centers. They're mostly tied to NGO groups that are working on large projects. So there's very minimal focus on what the smallholder farmer requires now. Smallholder farmers make up a majority of our food system. They're also the greatest inhabitants of our land, so they're the greatest contributors to soil acidification. Our solution offers on-site soil testing and real-time delivery of results and recommendations. We're able to achieve this through the development of a device that allows farmers to test their soil on their farm, and we've managed to cut down the time it takes to test your soil from 14 days down to just 15 minutes. We achieved this by manufacturing in-country and developing and delivering these devices to agro-input shops on a lease per year of $150 that then allows them to earn a commission of 20% for every single soil test that they get. We also aggregate farmers and work with them through cooperative societies, working to soil test for them and providing packages. We're also selling devices for $800 a piece to SMEs that can then offer soil testing as a service, and we charge them a monthly subscription of $50 for for utilization of their recommendations. So far, we have worked with 79 agro-input shops. We've worked with over 3,500 farmers. We're currently selling in Kenya and Tanzania, and are in the process of expanding this reach to other agro-input shops through manufacturing. We're currently raising around 500,000 USD. We have 350,000 USD pending that we're looking to close. We're looking to raise this as a combination of equity and debt, and we're asking you to join us to help farmers grow sustainably and profitably. Thank you.
Do you have IP on your technology that you're using to soil test?
Yes, so we have IP on our technology. We have already registered, and we do all our designs in-house, and we also manufacture in Kenya.
I think that's...
So I like that you have many different revenue streams. You mentioned, being able to sell the device, being able to do it as a service. When you think about scale, what is the business model and the product that's going to really take you to scale and create the most impact? And for investors investing, what is your long-term vision and exit strategy for them?
So in terms of scale in Kenya, we plan to scale through integration with the agro-input shops by spreading to the different agricultural counties and equipping the agro-input shops that are very close to the farmers. We've looked at scale in the region and in other countries, and as we have in Tanzania, it's easier for us to scale by selling devices to those countries and then having a subscription on utilization of the software. So that's how our scalability plan is. We do have currently a waiting list that includes companies in Uganda, Nigeria, and a company in Zimbabwe as well. We also, from an investor's perspective, our exit is really going to be mostly predominantly pegged on getting acquired by companies in the space that would like to integrate soil health into their whole value chain.
All right, we're being asked to wrap up, but thank you so much, Priscilla.
Thank you.
Thank you for that, Priscilla. A big round of applause again for her. It's amazing. We are going to present the next company and the next idea. I'd like to ask Mohammed Korsham to come on stage. The company is Willfree, and the presentation is about smarter logistics for the future of e-commerce with AI. Please, round of applause.
Okay. Hi everyone, how are you? This is Mohammed Qorshum. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Wafarli. Okay, in Wafarli, we do AI integrated solutions to enhance the e-commerce businesses. What we have, okay, yeah. What we have is that all of e-commerce businesses, all of the people, we have here Khalid, he has an F&B business, and he have an e-commerce platform, and he wants to increase the sales. But the issue that he has invested a lot of money in the technologies of being online and the inventory management system, but this is not bringing the value or the return that he has invested in. Also, he had a lot of time integrating all of these solutions all together, and yet he's not getting the value he has. Also, there is a huge competition from larger giants who are fastly absorbing the market from him. So what Wafarli provides is that we provide them with an AI integrated platform that's integrated to their e-commerce and ERP solutions that helps them to understand and create analysis for their customers and their customer behavior, and tell them what's happening wrong, what's preventing them from generating more revenues in their platform, and suggest us actions to do, whether inside the platform itself or on other platforms like social media and marketing campaigns, even creates the marketing campaign for him and tracks the performance of this campaign. And also, it works on the personalized experience of these customers, increase their conversion rate, and increase the cart size of their customers. So they can generate more revenues. In some cases, we reach up to 30% increase of volume of revenues for these merchants. So what we provide is a whole ecosystem. We help them from the point of sale for offline sales, going up to inventory, procurement, finance, and everything, even the fleet management app, going up and down to the e-commerce platform. All of this is integrated through one AI platform. So instead of having a regular e-commerce platform, you're going to have an AI integrated platform that is doing the right job for you and make you relief. Also, we provide them with a fleet management app that helps them not only like a fleet management app like the regular ones, but we are integrated with their fleet management app. And what we do is that we provide AI routes, cart optimization and truck optimization, so they can make the use of fleet management, shorten the routes, reduce the costs, and work on the truck optimization they have. We're now working in two markets. We're working in Egypt and Saudi, and these markets are huge. The market size only is 24 billion USD, and we are targeting only 7% of this market. At some time, for now, we're not able to satisfy all the customers that come to us. There are plenty. They have all of them have platforms, but they're not getting the value, so they are coming to us. So what is our edge? What's our competition? Of course, you can go and have an online e-commerce platform like through Shopify or other platforms. You can manage your everything through an ERP system and everything. But what we are excel in is that we integrate all of these together and we empower them with our AI model. Our business model, we start with them with merely a subscription fee, and we go up to commission-based, which we take commission on the orders that we help them generate through our platform. Of course, we have done many partners, and for now, Vodafone is now selling for us. She's acting as a seller, and also the same case for Bankmas, which is one of the largest. Okay. What we have done, we have started this year, and we have achieved over 340 USD in revenues, and we're expecting this year to close up to 1.7 million USD, and we're growing very fast. This would not happen, of course, without all my team and my co-founder Doha, which is the CTO, and my co-founder also Ali, who is the COO, and all of our teams who are working across all sectors. And thank you.
Very impressive. It's new and fresh. We don't see as many of these e-commerce AI platforms, but could you just, I I guess my one question I'll focus on for the minute we have here is, could you tell us a bit more about that customer, the size of the restaurant, and then the farmers supplying your restaurants? How are they impacted by this? And then to keep my other question consistent, what is your exit strategy for investors?
Okay, great question. We work from small restaurants up to a whole chain of restaurants who has many brands and many branches across the country. So we work from small to large entities, and what we do is, and also we work with whole merchants, sellers who source from farmers direct to restaurants. And the customer size, it depends on the output of them. We start with them from to get up to 130 USD, going up to 10,000 USD per merchant, according to the size and the volume of operations they have. And whether they have like a shared AI model or private label AI models that's customized on only for their requirements. And our exit, actually we started this year, in the first months we generated around 500 USD. This is was our revenue in the first months, but we grow rapidly across the year. And now we're having a lot of customers who are coming to us and asking for a private label AI model, because large entities are looking for private ecosystem, because they don't want their data to be leaked out of their environments. So they are looking for a private environment. So all the AI technologies are running inside their security system, so there is no data leakage or something like this. And this, of course, gives us a lot of money, but requires also a lot of resources who are working for each one, so he can train the model specifically for the needs and requirement of this merchants. Okay, and the exit strategy, for now we started this year. We expanded in 2 countries, and we're hoping to expand in more 4 countries, and we're generating more revenues. So this is a good one. Okay, yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Big round of applause.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your company.
So we have the last showcase for this session, and we will be, I would like to welcome Golden Nyembe. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Golden, excellent, welcome. He's coming to us from eAgro, and the title of this presentation will be Farm-Wise, Farm with Us. We would love to know how to not be fools in farming. Please tell us.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, judges. I'm Golden, a co-founder at eAgro with our flagship product, CropFix. Allow me to take you on a journey of how we are increasing harvest yields and control over farming practices in Africa. But before we get into that, are you aware that John here and more than 500 million smallholder farmers in Africa lose up to 40% of their crops pre-harvest? This is due to lack of access to up-to-date information and outdated methods of farming. Now, CropFix is an AI automated chatbot assisting small farmers manage their crops by providing actionable, climate-smart agricultural insights tailored to their specific needs. These include, and not only limited to, weekly personalized action plans, automatic crop pest and disease detection, and updates as the season progresses. Of the $3.5 billion market estimated by FAO, we are initially targeting the $100 million market in Southern Africa. To ensure that John makes use of CropFix, CropFix is easily accessible, and it's inclusively being built on platforms farmers can easily access, making us cheaper, faster, and easier. We have reached more than 20,000 farmers on the platforms. And these farmers like John have realized a 2x increase in income per hectare per season, and up to 28% reduction on the use of chemicals after using CropFix. We make use of our distribution model to reach farmers like John at a large scale. These then become our main clients. So now you now have a hint of how we make money. With our distributors, such as developmental agencies, financial institutions, and off-take companies, these have a $45,500 average deal. Our team is expert domain in computer science, AI, agronomy, and business management, and their experience in their different roles. Our advisors keep us in check. They make sure we are aligned to our vision, and through their networks have opened doors to partners. Why are we here? We are here because of all of you. We are seeking $500,000, and we have raised over $100,000. This will help us increase our technology and reaching more farmers, and will enable us to grow at a 4x multiple. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's grow together. Be part of us. Be part of John's future in being able to increase their harvest yield. I thank you.
Hi, Golden.
Hi,
How
Messi.
are you?
I'm good, and you?
I just have to brag on Golden. This is one of our alum, and so very excited to see you here. So what's your next step? Once you can you tell us a little bit more about your next step once you've received all that your funding? What will eAgro look like in the next 4 to 5 years?
Thank you so much for that. So currently, with the funding we are receiving, we are already increasing the number of farmers we are reaching to. With that funding, we are also increasing our data sets to improve our technology. So I would say in the next 5 years, we would have saturated Southern Africa and planning to scale to East Africa. Thank you.
Just one more question. What's your revenue to date? And your revenue to date.
Of the current year, we had almost 120,000. And currently with the contract, which is live, it's bringing in about 11,000 per month.
What is your total customer lifetime value per customer? How many years do you expect they'll use your product? And what is your exit vision for investors?
Thank you so much. So in terms of lifetime, they differ. So we have developmental agencies. It depends with the programs which are currently running. And then for financial institutions, it's usually they renew their contract every year. For off-take companies, they renew their contract every season, which might be 3 to 4 months.
Very good.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
For the exit strategy, we are planning on getting an acquisition with a bigger company which see our product being useful to their services. Thank you.
Great. Very good job. I think the organizers are you ready? Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for your pitch. And investors who are interested, please find Golden.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again. I love this session, so I'm sorry if I rushed some of you, but it was super, super interesting, and I want to give also a round of applause to our judges. All of these solutions are amazing, and you're part of the solution for the future for the continent. Yes?
Yes, and just maybe I'll say something briefly, and Mercy could add about just some of our questions. Just want to say to all the founders in the room, any founder building in the ag sector in Africa today is a hero, and we know it's incredibly difficult. So I just want the whole audience to recognize all of them, because there are very few equity and debt investors really investing in this space. So people who've left their jobs and are trying to solve one of the most important problems on the continent, we need you guys. So for investors in the room, let's really follow up with all these founders and find out if they're a fit. Is just one of my calls to action. And then I also just want to say that the reason I ask so much about exits is not because I'm looking to sell these companies early, but as investors and as founders, we need to explain what the exit path is for the early investors, to the later investors, for the later investors, to corporates, to some sort of profitability and dividends, because if we don't answer that question, this whole ecosystem will not have more capital. So know that we believe in exits for impact, exits to help companies achieve true Pan-African scale. And that's just a little bit behind my questions today, but congrats to all the founders.
I echo everything that Lyndsay said, but I also need to make a quick plug. For those of you who are in the audience building a climate company, Halcyon, which is the organization that I'm with, we are currently closing an application round on the 16th. So feel free to look out for me and ask questions about that, or my colleagues who are in the audience. So,
and sorry, I know I'm getting this little thing, but one last thing. Just want to thank GIZ and the SAIS program, because there are very few people funding funds and accelerators and studios like Delta 40. And I just want to say GIZ, despite what's happening globally, is really helping those of us on the ground that are trying to do innovative things. I don't think there's another investor who understands the venture studio model and took a bet on these new innovative structures. So really, truly, thank you to the GIZ team for supporting us on the ground to support founders.
And thank you also from my side, and thank you to the jury's member. So I would like to anticipate for tomorrow, we will have the same session. And tomorrow we will have another cohort of startup pitching here. So thank you for your patience. And yes, for the entrepreneurs that are in the room and that would like to join the SAIS program, so we have a booth there. So we'll be happy to receive you there and have conversation.
Thank you again, everybody. Big round of applause to everyone on stage.